everybody, welcome to another update. Today this one is a lot later than I usually do, but that's because I was really waiting on something to happen with this, but nothing's really happened with it throughout the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and just talk about it so far. So right here we have potential tropical cyclone 9, which could very well go on to become tropical storm Isaias or Isaias, somewhere in between that range, but I'm just going range from Isaias to Isaias probably every now and then, but for now, just going to call it Isaias. So it really could become Isaias right here. It's only forecasted to become a tropical storm right there. Let me make this a little bit smaller real quick. 16 will probably do good. So, what was I on to? Oh, yes. This is just going to basically become a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm in National Hurricane Center's terms. But it could become a hurricane if it manages to stay like that. And actually, it's actually somewhere around here now. And if it goes somewhere, and if it manages, because if this thing manages to not remain not that developed, it'll just continue going west and that. And if it manages to do a track like that, it very well could intensify rapidly. Let me fix my mouse over here if I can draw better. There we go. It very well could rapidly intensify, though most likely it's just going to take a path similar to that possibly and impact Florida, maybe a hurricane. Because the sea surface temperatures right here is pretty good, and also, I don't have the tab pulled up, but the upper ocean heat content is actually goes down really deep in this area it's supposed to go to. So this very well could rapidly intensify. Now over here we have the infrared loop. You can see that the convection kind of cuts off in that area, but then it like leads a new area right there. Somewhat near Martinique, I think, is that island, and I believe this is... that's Guadeloupe, I know that. I think this is Dominica, St. Lucia, I think. I'm not really too good with my Lesser Antilles, but they're somewhere within those ranges. And if this eventually... Actually, I think this actually has a center right now, because you can kind of see some rotation right there with it. So I personally think this should be upgraded to a tropical storm right now. Now over here, we have the intensity guidelines. We can see that only like 2 of them show up become a hurricane. Actually, 3 right there. Not too much, but again, this could very well become a hurricane because the models downplayed Dorian. Remember, they downplayed that. But I'm not saying this will be a Dorian. This is no way in stretch going to be a Dorian. But it could very well intensify more than what we think. Now, over here, we have the forecast models. This is the GFS, and it really shows it tracking through the Bahamas, not doing much. And then it looks like impact in the Carolinas. And let's see what the GFS says for the moisture right here. It says that there's going to be quite some dry air to maybe gently disrupt the system. But over here, if it really makes it to this point right here, not this point, the point right above Hispaniola, if this moisture manages to wrap around to this side, it could keep this safe from some of this dry air over here, which could help it intensify a little bit more. What in the world was that little bit more? What was that sound I created? And right here, we have the wind shear. The GFS shows quite a lot of wind shear that it's going to be dealing with throughout his life. And so that could prevent some major development. But really, this just depends on how the environment plays out and all that. Now, along with over here, the sea surface temperatures. Right here, including the Gulf Stream, right here the Bahamas, that's almost 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really warm. If this thing manages to come through here, the wind shear's kind of favorable, not that much dry air, and could manage to intensify. Not much, but at least some noticeable differences in its intensity. And real quick, let me refresh the National Hurricane Center page real quick and see if they have anything. new. Do they have anything new just yet? The 11 o'clock advisory should be out by now. But it's not. So tomorrow will be a earlier than usual update. Then real quick, why not? Let's look at the Central Pacific at Douglas, which could cross international date line and could make it into the West Pacific. What is going on? It could make it into the West Pacific right there. Most likely it will, but not as a tropical storm. Most likely like a remnant low or something. Now this is the end of today's update. I'd like to thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your